Hi there, everybody. It's Taming the Perilous Skies, 100 days until launch, and this is day 87 until launch. And I'm here with my colleagues, enjoying just a terrible day. Am I right? Just an awful day. You see Portland, Oregon there in the background. You see the steel bridge towering above us, the only bridge where a boat can go under a train, can go under a car, can go under a plane at the same time. Look it up. It's true. Okay, so we're in week number 2 still. This is our last day of week number 2. Tomorrow is Nancy Kress's interview, which is very exciting. And so today we're talking about target reader. And we were just having a discussion about plausibility and how sci-fi has a certain requirement of its readers to plausibility. But Joshua is more of a fantasy reader, so less about plausibility. And Stacy, you're more of a thriller.
Contemporary romance and thriller.
Yeah.
And memoir.
And so maybe I could ask you guys, since you're here and you're victims at this point, you can't go anywhere, you can't jump off board, you can't do anything, is talk about relatability versus scientific plausibility and how you think about those things as you either read fantasy or you read romance or thriller or other forms. Like, how do you guys think about it? And then I'll talk about sci-fi.
Well, I think about, relating to the character. Is she making the right decision? Is she making the decision that is, that I would make in that time, that time frame, that circumstance, or whatever? So I really, honestly relate to that character, and will kind of just put myself into what would I do in this, circumstance, and is that something that should be made, or is it something that is going to make the situation better? So I'm rooting her on all the time. I'm always rooting on that character. So character relatability is key for you. Really key. Yeah. Really key for me. POV, basically. Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Joshua?
I typically like to be swept up into fantastical worlds that I've never seen before, and circumstances I couldn't imagine unless the author presented me with them. But when it comes to plausibility, I would say there might be a nice intersection where it is plausible, but I don't think it is. And so I'm taken to that place, and you could have fooled me if it was possible. And I think that's where I would find myself reading a book. But
you're not enjoying a work because of its plausibility.
Correct.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that actually we'll talk with Nancy Kress about as well, is sci-fi and how people can get into the plausibility of things and how that becomes a part of the reader's expectation. Is the scientific and technological plausibility of something that's key to science fiction. It's not key to a lot of these others, but relatability of character is still key. And so being in that POV, and are you seeing this world plausibly through that character's eyes, right? And the more you weave in that are technologic or scientific or computing AI plausibilities, then the more that becomes sci-fi. I like to say that the difference between sci-fi and fantasy is that with science fiction, the deeper you dig, the closer you get to the truth. In other words, the more based it is in what we know or what might truly be possible, which is the theory of persistence for me is still in that realm. So every reader, every genre is a little bit different. For you, debut author, what is your approach to what you make plausible or believable? Is it all character driven, or is it part of your world as well? And so find your reader. And tomorrow we start a whole new week, craft, and is your work good enough? We'll talk then.